would watch
What about this one? Jeff Goldblum was originally thought of for Doc Brown.
I wish.
Marty.
It'd be great.
Time machine, Marty. Welcome back to the future,
Oh,
Nice.
I like it.
which is what we watched. We watched Back to the Future, which is a movie that I don't have any tabs open for. It happened in the 80s.
1985
Please hold. Yeah.
to be exact.
Back to the Future next is what I Googled. I'll explain why.
They went back to 1955
1955, and then I assume they go forward
to 2015.
to 2015 in the second one,
Back
but
to the
I haven't
Future
seen
Part
it.
2.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
That one's not on the list.
Nope, none of them. None of the other ones are.
We don't like sequels here in the big room.
Michael J. Fox in the only movies he's known for, right? Like, is he in anything else notable?
Yeah, there's a couple. He was
Teen
in Doc.
Wolf.
Teen Wolf?
I'm watching Teen Wolf.
You've never seen Teen Wolf?
Why do you say it like that? Teen Wolf?
It's.
Teen
Have
Wolf.
you seen Teen Wolf?
I guess it's not more popular in Back to the Future.
Have you seen Teen
No.
Wolf?
It's Teen Wolf,
Teen Wolf?
right? Teen Wolf?
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf?
Teen
Have you
Wolf.
had your corn flakes? It's like Carl's bit.
Yeah, just take the enunciation and put it on the wrong word.
Yeah,
It
it's
sounds
great.
like you're a foreigner. It's hilarious.
And
Podcast.
What's the Christopher Lloyd looking crazy, and some really horrendous makeup in this movie.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
look up during the first couple minutes. The necks threw
Oh.
me off
Everybody
the
looked
necks.
because
So
it
grisly.
starts in the 80s, but like they got young actors because most of the movies in the 50s, so they made them look old.
Yeah.
And then they
I
made
thought-
them look less old by ripping a lot of latex off of their gross necks.
Yeah.
I thought Doc looked fine,
I did too.
but
He
the
had-
other ones were pretty rough.
He had a shot in the Twin Pines parking lot where his neck, like he was getting in or out of
In the
car.
DeLorean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And his neck looked
There's a-
awful. And I'm like, all right. Because
Yeah.
at first I thought it was just the principal bald guy. You'll never amount to anything or whatever, just like your father, whatever his name was. His neck looked terrible when he was literally nose to nose with Marty. And I was like, maybe he's got a weird neck condition. I won't mentally comment on that. And then Christopher Lloyd had gross neck too. And I'm like, something's up here. Something's up. This has got to be terrible 80s makeup. And it was. It was terrible 80s makeup.
Yep.
Which they did aging in Citizen Kane, and it was pretty flawless, I thought.
Yeah.
It's
So
black
what
and
happened?
white though.
Maybe that hides some of the detail, but still, I was like, they should have taken a page. They should have gone back in time to figure out how they did that.
I know. Yeah, the latex necks was not the play. It was it's distracting. But luckily that was only like
It was so brief.
10% of the
Very
movie.
brief.
Portion, yeah.
We weren't in the present. The present past
Yeah.
participle.
It was jarring to me to be like, I don't know, like watching this movie now, it would be like they went back to the 1990s. And like the 1950s feels so far away, but in 1980s, it was really only 30 years ago. Like when they set the clock for 1955, I was like, their parents would be like, they're way too old for that. Like that's like way longer ago. And then I was like, no, it's the 80s.
Yeah, it'd be
It's
like
the
going back
80s.
to 1993
So
right now.
I think without context, I would have said, or that they're in the 50s. I would have said it was the 80s just looking at it. Like it felt, I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't
man.
have a good
the
frame of
cars.
reference for.
The cars.
yeah,
Cars.
it felt
and-
50s-y when they were in the 50s.
Yeah, I thought so. The clothes. Like they made a
The
point about the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Some of the clothes, like bomber jackets that what's his face is wearing, I'm like, man, we're back.
We're back.
Bomber jackets in the 50s and in the now, especially if you're a comedian named Tom Segura. I thought the overall feel of the movie I wrote down, it reminded me of Ghostbusters. Just that kind of like campy, lighthearted 80s feel. Not quite Roadhouse, because Roadhouse had that grit. And also was sexier. Whereas Ghostbusters is like, it's also like goofy sci-fi.
I know Bill Murray's in it, so pretty sexy.
He's hot, yeah. Bill Murray's hot. So
I'm sorry. You think Bill Murray's hotter than,
then who?
I don't know.
Probably.
Tom.
All right.
Then Tom Cruise
Tom Cruise? I don't like Tom
from
Cruise.
last
Yes.
week.
He's got one tooth in the middle of his face. His
But Bill
front
Murray's-
teeth, one is in the middle. And that's
Bill Murray doesn't have good hair though.
that doesn't need good hair.
Sure he does.
No.
To be
Great
hot,
personality.
you need some. You know.
You don't need hair.
I guess that's
well, dang.
yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, Nick. You're saying Nick can't be
true.
hot.
Sorry, Nick.
You're
Well,
saying
it's bad.
Really crushing my dreams here.
you're saying
Thanks
that
for
the dean from Community isn't hot?
That's what I'm saying.
Ding dong.
No, okay, maybe not. You can be bald, but you can't have bad hair. Like he just has weird wispy hair. Maybe he'd be hotter if he was bald.
Damn. Take notes, Bill Murray.
Take nuts, Bill Murray.
Man.
What's hot is that he wouldn't care.
Yeah, be careful. He'll throw you in a trash can, apparently. Like he did to that kid on that set. I don't know. People don't like Bill Murray now. Whatever.
Oh.
I didn't have any other notes till the very end of the movie. But time travel, right? Yay.
That was fun, man. I liked it.
I did too.
I liked that it wasn't all about time travel. Like it was barely about time travel, if that makes sense.
There's a lot about time travel, I thought.
Well, the rules of time travel, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really dive deep into this affects this, and if you do this, then this happens. Like it was all kind of surface level with the time travel stuff.
But that was the
because
whole
if you look at it too closely, it doesn't hold up.
right. But that was the whole
Well-
plot. Still, that was the entire plot. Is him like undoing stuff
No.
because he touched stuff, and
Yes,
then he
I
touched
get
stuff.
that Back to the Future is about time travel.
Yeah.
Well, just
I'm
I
just
think
saying
like
the
in,
details of it weren't super, I don't know, detailed.
I don't know. I feel like
details
Marvel's
weren't
been doing all this like time travel stuff, and they focus so heavy on like, don't mess up the timeline. You're gonna touch the timeline, and it wasn't that. It was just like, hey,
yeah,
don't do
this
that.
movie's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you mess with the timeline, things could be awesomer.
Whereas it's so high stress
Yeah.
in movies now.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
think-
everything's high stress in movies because
Yeah, it's
movies are
true.
terrible.
Yeah.
They're just bad. I don't want to watch that crap. I definitely don't want to watch a Marvel movie.
I
So
don't either
boring.
anymore.
No, they suck.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
It's called-
Boo.
ugh, it's so stupid.
Take notes, Marvel. You suck.
Paul Rudd, get out of here.
Oh,
Paul
but
Rudd. Paul
No,
Rudd,
but we like Paul
a
Rudd.
superhero.
I love Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, a superhero.
I've never seen the Ant-Man movies though, so I
What?
can't really talk.
Superhero Paul Rudd, really?
His
Paul
superpower is not
Rudd.
aging.
I guess, yeah. Well, he's just drinking children's blood. Paul Blood.
That's what it is.
Paul Blood.
Paul Blood. I don't know. I did appreciate the like. I don't know. It is lighthearted. It was a kids movie, right? PG. Something.
I don't know if they really had kids movies back
Yeah,
then,
no.
but it was supposed to be like a family-ish movie. So they but yeah, it was like a PG rating, I think.
I'm trying to find out, but IMDb just doesn't care at all.
But it skews
Yeah,
a
PG.
lot more PG-13. Like
I want to ride a
Those were different in the
skateboard
80s.
and hold on to cars and go fast.
Yeah. We know that Marty McFly is a cool kid because he rides a skateboard and he has a girlfriend. And
Yeah, and he wants a truck.
Yeah, he
and
wants
he's
a
a
truck.
slacker,
So that's yeah,
despite
he doesn't
never
do good.
being a slacker in the movie.
Yeah, all he does is achieve.
That's true. Well, I think they were just putting his dad's. They were just because his dad was a nerd. So they were like, "You'll never be anything like your dad."
Yeah. His dad
You know,
had,
they were saying he was just like his dad.
yeah.
And I was like,
Just
his
your
dad
a
is
slacker.
clearly an achiever, and this guy's still calling him a slacker.
Well,
was
but
like,
I think
what
his
is-
dad
Dude.
might have spent too much time doing work for the bully and not work for himself. So he may
Maybe
have
so.
come across as a slacker,
just
is how I
too
read
much
into that.
time bird watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's
He
a
was more
peeping Tom.
non-confrontational.
Yeah.
He was such a weird character.
He
His
was-
laugh.
The laugh was
His laugh killed me.
so funny.
God.
His dad might have had the greatest turnaround in cinema history.
I was here for
Pretty
it.
good, pretty good glow up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's like glow up of all time. The dad really did it.
Yeah, the ride was
Um,
like Steve Carell's in Crazy Stupid Love.
Yep, I understood that
Never
reference.
seen it.
Never
That's a good
seen
one.
it.
It's a good one.
I thought the movie would have more Doc in it, but
Yeah.
it was a lot more about like I need to make my mom try not to have sex with me, and a lot less Doc. And I figured those elements would be flipped. So I knew about the mom stuff from
Or-
just
yeah.
pop culture, I guess. So I knew that going in. I knew
I did too.
about the flux capacitor. I knew about the DeLorean, obviously. Like, there's just parts of this movie that are inescapable. And I think because it's an 80s blockbuster, that meant there wasn't a lot left to be discovered because it's an 80s blockbuster. I don't think there's a lot under the paint there. At least from what we've seen from like Roadhouse and Ghostbusters, like, you know, you can predict how those movies are going to go.
Yeah.
And nail it pretty much every time, which is not a drag. I
No, I liked it. I was still stressed though.
Really?
At the end, I was just the hook fell apart. Now he's gonna fall. Now he's falling again. Now it's unhooked. Now the other one's unhooked. I was like, I know they're gonna get it.
Me crazy.
I was like, I know they're gonna get it, but like I was still stressed. Like watching
I don't know.
it.
It didn't bother me because I'm like, if they don't get it, there's not a movie.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen.
It's like,
the ending was predictable, but how they got there kind of kept me on the edge of my seat.
Okay.
Even the second time watching, so I watched this for the first time in theaters.
Oh.
In 2020.
Oh.
Which is pretty cool because, you know, people my age don't get to say they watched it for the first time on the big screen.
Remember 2020?
No.
Was that 8
I
years
try
ago?
not to.
I tried to forget.
But so this is your second time.
Yeah, this was my second time.
So, and Carl, you had seen it before, I assume?
I thought I had seen it, and then when I watched it, I was like, I don't think I have. I think I just knew the references and then Family Guy bits. So I don't think I actually had seen it all the way through.
Neither of us had seen it.
But yeah, I knew all the beats though. Like I knew what was gonna happen, and I knew,
of course,
like yeah,
yeah,
hard to escape that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was fun. I felt like the least amount of dread going into a movie. That I wasn't hyped for. Like I was hyped for Pulp Fiction, you know. But like some of these other movies we've watched, I've been like the day of going, oh, to watch a freaking movie tonight, and I just don't want to. And last night I was like,
mindset.
Let's just get Back to the Future over with. This one will be fine, and it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Fine movie.
Speaking of Pulp Fiction,
yeah,
the so Michael J. Fox was the original choice for Marty McFly. But he was filming
say for Pulp Fiction. I was like, no, please God, no.
There's a tie-in. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. He was the original choice, but he was filming a TV show. It didn't work out, and then they hired and started filming with an actor named Eric Stoltz, who was the drug dealer in the apartment in Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
When they like had to like stab whoever in the heart with the adrenaline or whatever.
Yeah.
There's the couple that was arguing. Yeah, that was him. He filmed for 6 weeks, and they filmed like 30% of the movie. And then they were just like, this dude sucks.
Wow.
And it's not working. Let's do whatever we can to get Michael J. Fox.
Ouch.
Apparently spent like $3 million more and up the budget and got Michael J. Fox.
Worth it, I
thought
think.
you were gonna say John Travolta, and I was gonna be like, you know what? I'm kind of in.
Doc, what do you mean?
Yeah.
you made a time machine out of a DeLorean?
What's a flux capacitor, baby?
I would watch.
What about this one? Jeff Goldblum was originally thought of for Doc Brown.
I
man.
wish. I also
That'd be a good
saw
one.
John Lithgow, and there's a few others.
John Lithgow. My mouth is a circle. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum would be great.
Jeff Goldblum.
Marty.
He'd be great.
Time machine, Marty.
Somebody needs to deep fake that.
Dude,
Oh,
I'd be
man.
locked in for who did you say would make a good weren't we talking about a good doc if we had to cast it today?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh.
Speaking of
Your
cast
other
today,
wife.
there was a deep fake where they did
Maybe I dreamed
Tom
that.
Holland and Robert Downey Jr. in the roles.
Ooh.
It works pretty well.
You know what?
I could see it.
You know what made this movie
Yeah.
kind of hard to watch? Not hard to watch, but like in a post Rick and Morty world, hearing the doc say Marty felt wrong every single time.
Yeah.
It's like he said Morty wrong.
Yeah.
Which Rick and Morty was originally called Doc and Marty, and they had to change it because
Too close.
the studio didn't want to roll with that. So
Too close.
this movie's a little different so this movie is different for two reasons. One, Rick and Morty, and two, because of as youngins, we see the DeLorean differently than people in the 80s did. I was listening to a podcast called Taste Buds, and they were arguing, just for the sake of having a show, Back to the Future versus Star Wars. which is a stupid argument.
I don't know how you could even
ridiculous
argue
argument.
that.
It's a stupid argument, but they have to argue it for hashtag content. But the point one of the guys was making about the DeLorean is when he was a kid, the DeLorean was like their Millennium Falcon. Like it was a piece of shit car that nobody thought was cool, and it didn't sell well, and it didn't last. And now they're only cool because of the movie.
I did have a question because it's like it's a very unreliable car.
Yeah.
I don't know much about cars, but I know that. But it's like in the movie, he was like, "If you're gonna do it with style." So it's like they must have thought it was kind of cool back then.
Well, it's styled cool, but
It
like,
was-
from what I understand, it like its unreliability and lack of big production was like, oh, it's a stupid car.
Gotcha.
But-
Yeah, they like the car back during the 80s. It was $25,000, which equivalent is like $65K. So it was like a hyped up car, but they only made like 10,000 of them because nobody wanted them.
It's a Tesla.
Hmm.
It was a Tesla. It was the Cybertruck.
It kind of
Yeah.
looks like the Cybertruck. Yeah, it
Except,
definitely
unlike the
takes its roots
Cybertruck,
from that.
it exists. So there's that. Elon Musk can suck my ass. I hate that guy. So let's talk about anything else. I couldn't get Morty out of my head. I thought Christopher Lloyd was great. I really like the Doc. He's the best character to me. I wanted more Doc like the whole time. I'm like, I want more. I wish Doc was more in this. I care about your mom. I don't care about how much your mom wants to bang you. I want more Doc because he's crazy and I like it. And I really like some of the more minor. I guess they're not minor. They pretty much threw it in your face. But like when he ran over one of the pine trees and then Twin Pines Mall changed to the Single Pine Mall. Voice crack. I really thought that was cool.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice that either.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Do you guys have eyeballs?
I don't know. I guess I don't. This
like,
just in, I'm blind.
oh boy. I mean, all right. Carl, did you notice that?
I did.
All right. Well, high five.
Whatever.
So,
Well,
Oh,
I
I'm
watched it a couple times.
observant.
I mean, they
I'm
made
so
the
cool.
dude made
It
a
is-
point to scream,
Well,
you ran over one
he
of
goes
my
like,
pines.
Yeah, you killed my pine, and then it
Yeah.
pans right to the
Yeah, and then it pans right to
No.
the Single Pines Mall.
I just thought he was bummed about his pine.
They also made like
Worked
a
I
hard
do
for
want to
that pun.
point out, when he meets Doc at the parking lot of the mall, he's in the car and he's in the little truck thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to get into his car because the doors open like this. He couldn't have gone in when it was in there. He had to get in the car, close the doors, wait in there for him to show up, and then he backs out and he's like, "Oh, you're here." So it's like, what was that for?
That's a good point.
It's just this movie has so many goofy things like that where I'm just like, what is this?
It took me a hot minute to figure out that when the dog went forward a minute in time, I was like, wouldn't the dog always be a minute ahead of them and they would never see it? And then it took a minute for my brain to come around to, no, when they get to that minute, then the dog's there and it's fine. So,
I was kind of nervous something was going to happen to the dog,
nope.
but then it didn't. I was like, no, this isn't a serious movie. But I was like, but what if?
They just kill the dog.
Yeah, like what if? Oh, he's gone. No. I was like, don't
Rip-
hurt the dog.
Rip
Don't
Einstein.
Don't hurt Einstein.
I was trying to break brain.
Blech.
Breathe. Big brain.
Words.
Time travel. Too much there. At the beginning. Also, I didn't understand the car stops because it runs out of plutonium, but then the car works later.
Yeah, I was mad about that.
Yeah, they're really they cherry pick when they want these things to be an issue, which
So
what are you
does
gonna
it
do?
does it
80s
run on
movies.
plutonium or not?
Yeah.
I just didn't understand. Or does only the time travel part have a dog? Run
What do
on
you mean
plutonium?
it stopped? When did it stop?
When it broke like 3 times in the movie.
And it was like flashing
Yeah,
out
what
of
a
plutonium.
cliche.
Yeah.
I liked how everything was made blatantly obvious. Like you're shown and like the case and
Yeah,
it
like-
says plutonium, and then you're
Yeah.
shown. I can't remember.
They really
like
spell it all out
you
for
know,
us.
what was it? The manure truck
Yeah.
or something like that. It's like manure.
Or
so it's like okay.
when the mall changed from Twin Pines to Single Pine.
Whatever.
Wow.
It's like huge and really in your face. Whatever.
In our defense, in
Here,
mine and
let's
Danielle's
see it.
defense,
Let's see it.
there's so many things like that in this movie.
Yeah.
Just subtle little plot details.
It's a huge sign and it was green. And
I was
they-
too focused on other things, like seeing the
the background?
the
The empty parking lot behind him.
Listen, this is my ticket in the piano. Of
I
this
know,
movie,
but we
so shut
keep
up.
doing this. You need like the Amazon X-ray, but for like obvious plot points. Like it needs to pause for you. And go, Nick, pay attention, and then like play.
It's like in those memes when they circle red like the obvious part, and you're like, thanks for highlighting that.
But that's what they actually need.
Yeah.
Maybe they need yellow tinted glasses to be able to see.
Don't say
Maybe.
they.
You missed
Call
the
us
thing
they.
too, so you're in the Nick circle.
No.
Yeah.
I usually
See how offended she is, Nick? How do you feel now?
Yeah, what's so bad about the Nick circle?
No, Nick, me and you.
Well, bald people can't be hot, so apparently she's just
don't get
dragging
that going
Nick
for me.
through the freaking mud.
I'm sorry. It's not what I meant.
Dang.
It's not bald. It's Bill Murray's bad hair. That's what it is.
Cinema. Oh boy. I don't know. What else is in this movie?
Back to the parking lot.
Yeah, back to the parking lot.
Yep. The
Be a fun
the
prequel.
whole point of the movie is that Marty goes back 30 years. Why did he not just go back 10 minutes?
Oh,
Like what?
When-
what do you mean?
Whenever he got in what were the people that were
The
shooting at him?
Libyans.
So
Lesbians?
The Libyans.
The lesbians. Yeah, when the lesbians
Yep.
were chasing. No, because she said
Why
that
30 years?
No, it was already set.
it was already set. He
Yeah,
was like, if
he
you
was
wanted to
just
go
running.
30 years back
Oh,
in the
that's right.
future,
Doc was
because he wanted to go back to when he discovered time travel.
Yeah. When he hit his head.
Yeah.
Did he not listen to when Doc was like 88 miles per hour, Marty? Like, and he's like, let's see if we can go to 90. And
That's
it's like,
what
hey,
I
dumbass,
said.
that's too faster than 88. Like, don't you think something's gonna happen where you're not listening?
Well, I
Like,
said out loud,
He was
like,
just-
he's got that I'm being shot at adrenaline. But
Yeah.
also, it's
I
like,
guess so,
they have
but,
to give us a
yeah.
reason to go back or there's no movie. The plot,
Yeah.
not
yeah,
airtight.
yeah.
Not
I
airtight.
don't think anybody's arguing that it is out in the world.
I have seen so many reviews that have said that this is a perfect movie.
Nope.
And that it's a
No.
master class in storytelling. I had to
What?
dig deep to find somebody that didn't like this movie.
That's what I meant by it's not a time travel movie. If you look at it through, it's like it's an adventure movie.
Of course.
And
It's not a science
it's
fiction movie.
a friendship
Yeah.
movie of an old man with a young boy. Like
So we love
there's
that.
other lenses
Okay.
you can look through.
Yeah,
and
I
it'd
mean,
be a great
it's,
movie.
It's definitely not 2001, or which we haven't
Hopefully
seen.
that's next.
But yeah, it's not a science fiction
Yeah, how
movie.
can you say that?
It's not about like, all right, Marty, I'm gonna here on this whiteboard. We're gonna explain how time travel works for 28 minutes, and everyone's going to die of boredom. That's not the movie, but it's a time travel movie in that it's the center plot point and the only thing that makes the movie happen. I enjoyed when they went back to the present. They never go to the future.
You have to go to the next
At
movie.
the end.
He's going back. He's going back to the 80s. That's
Back
the
to
That's
the
future.
the
80s.
present. It's
Yeah,
where we
but when
started.
he's in the 50s,
But it's the future.
it's
From
the
I'm with you,
future.
Danielle.
Me
I
and
got
Nick,
you.
see, me and Nick.
Yeah,
Sorry,
have
Nick,
been
we don't need
consistent.
them.
Me and
We don't
Nick
need them.
have been consistently on the wrong side of history for the whole episode. Is what it is. I don't know. I thought it was a weird title. I mean, I guess, but Back to the Future, and then they talk about the future.
You don't think the
That's
title
the whole
makes
point
sense?
of the movie.
I don't think the
It
title
was
is brilliant.
not originally. Well, they were going to change the title. Nick, did you already have that fact?
But
No.
to something much
It was
worse.
going to be called A Spaceman from Pluto.
That's way worse.
Whoa.
That's way,
Way
worse.
Yeah, because they didn't think, the executives didn't think that people would want to see a movie with the word future in it.
But
What?
when
What?
is there space or Pluto?
But
Right. Well, they were going to have, instead of when he was like, I'm Vader from Vulcan or whatever, they were
Dude.
going to have him say I'm a spaceman from Pluto
Yeah,
and then make
I'm,
it fit. but
I'm
it's like,
Star Wars from Star Trek.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
didn't like
every-
that.
so good.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. It's
Did you
catchy.
hear the breathing in the mask?
Yeah,
He was even breathing like Vader.
yeah, dumb. Should have breathed like Darth Maul in Phantom Menace. I enjoyed
does
at the end when they go back to the present, not the future at all.
Wow.
That when there's briefly like 40 seconds or so where there's two Martys. I like that. And then I was like, they're just two
that-
Martys forever. But then I'm like, no, because then that Marty's goes
It loops.
into the thing and we loop forever.
And now that's a different Marty.
Yeah. So what happens?
I have a problem with the end, but I don't know if
Multiple
that's what you're
timelines.
getting to. Maybe,
Is,
should we
okay,
hold off on that?
which part of the end? Like, I'm home with
Okay.
my parents, or
Well, do we want to just get through the rest of the movie and then we'll bring it up then?
is the
Yeah.
rest of the movie worth going through?
No.
I don't know. I mean, I loved. No, I really like.
You guys want to talk about how he tried to bang his mom?
ordered the chocolate milk at the diner.
Yeah.
No, I liked that.
Took a
I
sip
saw
and
it
threw it
coming.
back.
No, I saw it coming as soon as Marty got out of the car at the dance. I was like, oh, and then like Biff got in. I was like, oh, the dad's
Biff.
gonna come fight him, and he's not gonna know that he's fighting Biff and not Marty. And I love that he stood up to the bully, and then they still fell in love, and then he became like better, and like wasn't a chicken the rest of his life. What? Why are you laughing?
Because he became like better. Just
He just he learned how to stand up for himself.
yeah.
So, and I was like, yay, go you, George.
And he now he's rich, and Biff waxes
So-
his car.
Him and his wife are happier.
Yeah.
We love to
Yeah.
see it.
She's maybe not as
So
much
we're
of an
gonna
alcoholic.
fast forward
Yeah.
through all that to that ending. So my
Yep.
question is, the way that the time travel works, right? He's in the past. He does all that stuff. The events change. They all play out.
Right.
He then goes back to the present or future, and he's in this new house with his well-adjusted family. But he's also been born in this new altered timeline. So there's already a Marty there.
That's the one we see go back in the car.
Yeah.
No,
So my
No.
thought,
No.
he was never there.
No, that Marty never made it that far.
Right?
Right?
I don't
Because he was-
follow.
Marty
That's just how
left
time travel.
one
It doesn't.
timeline. He left one timeline to
I'm
go
with
back.
you.
This timeline alters. So that
Yes.
Marty never did that.
Right.
Or it's a different timeline. He didn't go back in the new timeline.
Exactly. It's a
So in the
different.
new timeline, everything already happens. His brother's a well-adjusted adult who still lives at home even though he has a business job and successful. And then, so Marty's been born again in this new timeline and already has his family. So did he?
I don't know.
I think
Kill him?
that's just
Like,
you
what?
have to just ignore that.
I think we
with time movies.
I think there's timelines for sure, which is
So,
what I was
yeah, I
kind
just-
of trying to wrap my brain around, the two Martys being in the parking lot at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and one goes back. So that is that an infinite loop in the original universe, but now we're in a split universe where he's
Right.
changed his parents and stuff, and now we're in a different timeline. It has to work like that, right? You
Because
can't have
would-
time travel and changes
Assumption.
without timelines.
like, because
Yeah.
would new Marty go hang out with Doc in a parking lot? We don't know.
Well, well, it depends on how many Martys are in new Martys. You know, in the Rick and Morty episode where they have to kill themselves and take their
Yeah,
place.
that's kind of what I thought it was going to be like that. Where I was like, yeah, it seemed. This is my problem with the whole movie. It's so like the backbone of this movie is just like heavy-handed tropes, cliches, and like taglines to the point where it's like almost. I don't know. It's just, oh man,
Or was this the first movie to do some of that stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was or not, but
I think it makes more sense, Carl, if in your head canon you imagine that the Marty that we were with the whole time that goes back to the new present in the separate timeline gets home after like, oh, I saved Doc because bulletproof vest, which is a different timeline as well.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He gets home and has to smother his sleeping self with a pillow
I like
in the
that.
bed, bury him in the backyard, and then passes out like in that weird shape because he's
Yeah,
tired
he was
from
sleeping
murdering
like,
himself.
like a
No,
pretzel.
but I
or
think
whatever.
I think it makes sense because if that Marty,
Again, I'm with Danielle. He
if
leaves
that
in the
Marty,
car.
yeah, that
and
Marty leaves in the car and then it
resets.
re-loops when he comes back, and now he is the same Marty.
No, because everything's different though.
But it's enough of the same that he's still friends with the Doc. He still goes back to that time.
Hang on, I think
The
I think
family's
I'm catching up with
completely
Carl.
different though.
No, I get what Carl's saying, but I also think it can be.
Come on.
Hang on. Okay. So he gets back to the mall parking lot. He sees himself. The person he sees, that Marty has grown up with the successful family.
No.
So then that
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
So then that one's going back.
To do what?
But
Why would he have to
to
go
do
back?
what?
Yeah,
'Cause
why is he
Doc's-
going back?
No, because Doc's
Exactly.
still dead.
because
He's the one in the present goes back, changes things, but then those things have to happen. So he's remade in that timeline, and then when he goes back, there's two of them now.
Yeah, there
That's
has to be.
I think. I mean, there can't. And then in the second and third, it creates a
This-
whole new can of worms. I had to watch those too.
Oh Lord, you got ahead of us.
You watched all
Yeah.
three?
I watched all three, and each
Yes.
one was so. This is so funny because I actually didn't love this movie, and I searched like far and wide to find somebody else that agreed with me that this movie sucks. Like, this movie's not that good. People that like this movie watched it when they grew up and have rose tinted glasses. Like the writing is so like convenient and it's sloppy to the point of just being lazy. Like Biff goes into the same occupation as what's his name, George, and then at the end he gets hit and then becomes a total wimp and just totally changes his personality after one hit. The school bully after like it's like the people don't change like that. So
It was more-
it's very convenient.
I'm so happy that you hate it.
All
I
the
don't know
cars
why.
going dead is like such a cliche. A bulletproof vest would not work on an AK-47 at close range. Are you
That's
insane?
true.
That's true.
It also-
why is the brother still living at home if he's a successful businessman?
Yeah.
Is he just showing up for brunch? Like what? Like, and then when he's like, the car's destroyed," nobody questions him, and nobody says like, "Well, just take your truck." Like what? Like it's just so goofy, and I don't know if it's just '80s tropes or whatever, but I was just like, "What is this?"
I
Like,
definitely
and I
wanna
really wanted to
know.
like it because I was like, "This is an iconic movie," but I was just like, other than like the DeLorean being cool and Doc being great, I was like, Marty's kind of annoying. The dad's a total
What?
wuss.
I
Like,
thought Marty was adorable.
Marty as a character doesn't have any flaws. He's just a perfect person whose only flaw is being called a slacker despite running
That's true.
2 miles in 5 minutes to
Marty
get
has
the dock that one
zero
time.
character development in this
So,
movie.
and that means, that means no development, which means not an engaging story.
He's
And
kind
then
of
in
right.
the second and third
That doesn't
movies,
make it
they
not engaging.
they surgically they insert the flaw of him being called chicken and being like, "What? You called me chicken?" And he can't function. He has to like stand up. It's like what? It just seems so forced.
I
I'm trying to
think
be more
because
critical.
I think because you watched
like
all
it.
three that you hate
I
this
think
one more.
it may have been too much, but I think the first one's the best of all three. It's like The Matrix. The first one was great, and then the second they just get worse and worse. The first
Okay.
movie
I'll
for
agree
Back to
with
the
that.
Future is good, but it's not as good as everyone's saying it is. It's definitely
fair.
overrated.
That's fair.
And I think they do a good job of like setting up the story. I just think a lot of it was just like, I don't know.
I didn't even think about Marty not having any character development, but he super doesn't. He's just the
He's
same
just kind of
guy.
at the wrong place at the wrong time, kind of, and it just is like yells, "Doc, we gotta!" Blah! It's just like, all right, man, calm down.
I
It's like 3
expected-
foot tall.
That's not the point.
so
Well,
funny.
what's the point? Just to have
The
a fun
point-
romp in 1985,
I mean,
Yeah.
kinda.
which is fine, but I don't think that
The
makes
point
it a
isn't
perfect
for-
movie.
The point isn't for him to grow. It's for him to, I guess, be himself and figure out a way to get back.
Ugh, participation trophy of a movie then.
No.
Sucks. No, I don't know. I wanted it to be more of something because it wasn't. I didn't give a damn about his mom. I thought that was like weird and forced. The dad development was like fine, but again, like broadcasted like crazy, and there wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of. I mean, I guess there was development with the dad, but it's like, oh, he finally punched the guy, and now everything's different. Who could have
Even
predicted?
the punch, the first punch is a really quick punch.
Yeah.
And the bully blocks it, no problem. The second one, he broadcasts like, but he hits him in the face and knocks him out. And I was like, what?
It was his left hand. He'd never tried with his left hand.
Maybe that's what it was. I didn't catch that, but I was just like,
Oh, you're
how did he
right.
Not see
10
the
out of
second
10
one?
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's the left hand.
Yeah,
Oh man,
That's the whole blindside thing we get earlier with the car.
I don't.
Oh,
So-
man.
I wanted more Doc, man, because he's the most
More
compelling
Doc.
character in the movie.
Yeah.
Is there more Doc in the other two?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like Doc
Yeah.
has
I
the
don't wanna
most.
spoil it, but-
Don't. Doc had the most potential of any character to be developed because he's got all this backstory, and
Such
the
a
only
vague
thing we
backstory.
get from it in the first movie is my crazy hat that can read your thoughts doesn't work. I'm a failure. That's it. That's all we get from Doc. It's like, come on. I want to know why he's crazy. Like, I don't care that the clock got burned and is still broken 30 years later. I don't care. I want to know about characters.
This is hearkening back to 300. I feel like where Nick wanted more backstory and you like filleted him for wanting more backstory on
there's a
King
difference.
Leonidas.
There's a
You want
difference.
more-
There's a
No one
difference
cares, Cameron.
between suck my ass. There's a difference between a dramatization of a historical event with hot abs and a shitty time travel movie from the 80s.
Shit.
A period of movies widely regarded to be terrible for a decade, with the bright shimmering star of Empire Strikes Back.
Also, the photograph that he has would just disappear. Not the people in the photograph. Would they just take a picture of a well? Like,
Maybe.
yeah,
It's pretty well.
Oh God, I hate that. You're right.
right. There's a
No,
few
don't
things.
give in to them.
No,
There's-
it's fine that it's not an
just a
airtight movie.
fundamentally- It's a fundamentally flawed movie when it
What
comes to
we're
the time
not
travel.
saying,
It was a shitty
no,
movie.
no, no,
That's my point, though.
No. But what we're not saying
But
is
it's a time travel movie.
We're not saying you're
I don't think it really
idiots
is, though.
for liking the movie. We're saying here's why it's not an airtight, rock solid 5-star movie, because it's
Yeah.
not. That's an insane argument. It's
yeah,
a
the
fun.
people
It's a
that-
kind
yeah.
of fun, like silly 80s movie.
Yeah,
But-
it's a silly 80s movie. But every review I've seen, I was like, surely I'm not the only, because I watched it and I was like, that wasn't that good.
Right.
No.
Right. One of my first thoughts was, man, we have been blowing this movie as a society way too hard
Yeah.
because the car was neat. Like,
Yeah.
dude.
Every review I watched was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, 5 out of 5, A+. Like,
Oh,
every
wow,
review
that's
was
too
like holding
much.
it up to here. And I was like, am I not getting it? Like, I
Back to the
usually give
Future
movies
changed
a
my
really
life.
high score. And this one, I'm just like, I don't know. Something about it just didn't work for me.
It's fun. It was a
Yeah.
fun, like, turn your brain off movie, but it's not like,
Yeah.
what a masterpiece of
I just
cinema.
even felt like I was even getting annoyed with the character when he's like, oh, like the bully. It's like, oh, you're like all the characters were like cliches personified.
Yeah, remember
It
how
was like,
cool
oh, you're
the
nerdy
writing-
dad and the bully. Yeah.
Remember how cool
Like-
the writing was when they had the dad and the bully saying the exact same lines to the T as they did 10 minutes earlier? Wow.
That was cool. I like that.
Wow. My one active brain cell enjoyed that one. Right next to the
Okay.
brain cell with the monkey clanging the cymbals together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that kind of stuff is so heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It's like, is this script good?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Is the
Oh my
gravitational pull
god.
of the
yeah.
Earth different
I
in the future?
literally- Oh my god. Yeah. It was.
No, that
yeah,
made
all
me
the
laugh.
stuff
I like
where-
that part. Because you could do the same thing. My comment there was that you could do the same thing.
There's
with
that word again.
You could do the same thing with lit now. Man, the future must be so
Yeah.
bright. Everything is lit. Like,
Yeah,
same
but it's
joke.
like, I don't know. It was like that, and then Heavy, Great Scott, and then Chicken and Yellow in the later
Scott.
ones, and then Slacker. I was like, those 4 words like pieced together this movie. Like that was
Butthead.
Butthead was,
yeah, I
Butthead
like,
was appalling.
Butthead was so bad.
why does he still hang around that family? Like, why is he still there? Like, it's just weird.
I don't know because
I
he
did-
made him his bitch with
He's
that punch.
got a detail.
I guess One Punch Man over here.
Turned him into Simple
It
Jack,
was
and now he
pretty
waxes
funny
cars.
that they go back and they change history, but the only thing that's seemingly affected is his parents, his
Yeah,
siblings.
their immediate
and
nuclear
Biff.
family.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like,
Yeah,
Well, we just don't have time to see anything else.
yeah.
That's
Actually,
true.
We don't know. There could
yeah.
be
What
more.
what they don't show off screen is that they actually prevented slavery. Like what?
Slavery was already over.
They don't know.
Yeah, but they
Who knows how
prevented
far
it.
back they go?
Oh, you mean like in the later movies?
Yeah, butterfly
I
effect.
see.
Well, no, like butterfly effect. Who knows how far backwards that effect goes? I don't know.
Is
Just
that
well,
what
it can't
the
go
butterfly effect
backwards from the present.
back to the forward to the past.
That would be cool.
On that note, I have
Just
a
wrinkled
question.
my brain.
What?
If you guys could
Oh,
go
yeah.
back in time to a point in your life, where would you
Now,
go?
is this like, would you change something, or is it like just to observe, or what?
I don't know. Whatever you want it to be.
I would go back in time to when I got my first pair of glasses, and I would not get transition
I thought you
lenses
were gonna
because
say
they made me
period.
look like a jackass. That's what I would change.
Oh, it's okay. I had those too.
Everybody did. Well,
That's what I would do.
didn't, but because I could see.
I'd also maybe grow my hair out sooner.
Mm.
You just go whisper to your
And I'd get a mustache sooner.
I would go back.
All vain appearance things.
I would go back 15 years ago and start taking like hair
Hims.
pills so that I could be hot and sexy.
Just for Danielle's
That's the
acceptance.
only way
you're
you
hot
can
and
be.
Sexy. It's okay, Nick.
This podcast is brought to you by Hims hair pills. Oh God.
I don't know where I'd really go. I mean, I feel like I'd be more apt to go to the future.
Ooh, I mean, yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was an option.
Yeah, you
No, I'm
could
not
do
doing
that.
that. I'm not.
At
I don't
least
want to do
back
that.
to a point in our life.
Yeah, she
I
said
did?
back.
Oh, okay.
I know. I just don't like her question.
I don't want to go to the future.
Sorry.
I don't want to go to the future though, because it's spoilers.
Yeah, but
Because what if something
kind of
really?
like
you
I
learn
almost just
from-
spoiled the second movie.
Yeah. Ugh.
You could learn
Oh.
so much and get so rich.
Yeah, but you could do that by going backwards too.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, knowing what you
Yeah.
know now, you can
Yeah.
just be like, "Hey, invest in Apple, invest in Facebook."
Oh, I see.
I'd be like the greatest
Oh,
Google Ads prodigy.
I don't think I could ever talk to myself. Because you say
I look
one thing, you could
nothing like
ruin
I looked as a
everything.
kid.
Or make everything awesome, which is what this movie showed you. Is that messing with time is cool and always goes well.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which is maybe why every other like they can't put the thing back in the thing, and
They
so,
can't put the thing back
Try
in the
again.
thing.
so every other time travel like related thing, like y'all were saying earlier with Marvel, is like be careful and don't, because only bad can happen if you mess with stuff. Because Back to the Future did like, well, we already tried it messing with stuff and making everything more awesome. So like we can't make lightning strike twice there. I don't know. Time travel. It's played out.
Yeah.
Play it out.
It's played
It's a
out,
little
but it's been
convoluted.
played out for 40 years, which is a little unfair. But also, I'm not in the business of being fair. I'm in the business of being correct. And this movie's fun.
Wow.
Oh my god. Nice.
Just kidding.
Did
But
it
I'm not.
bother anyone that even though so at the end of the movie, Doc gives Marty a like a little alarm clock and puts it on the dash and is like when he's going back and he has to hit the pole on the car with the
With the thing
with
to
the
do
cable
thing.
or whatever.
Yeah.
The
For
thing
the
with the thing.
gigawatts.
Yeah, the 103 gigawatts, whatever.
Also, it's gigawatts.
It is gigawatts.
This isn't a GIF situation.
It's gigawatts.
It is now, but I guess
when
it
they
used to be.
when they asked like the scientist back then like what it was, he mispronounced it, which I don't know how, but probably not a scientist.
So they just roll
What?
with it.
Yeah.
He wasn't a real scientist?
They asked some scientists to like how the pronunciation. This is what I heard. They in a YouTube video they were like saying the scientist mispronounced it, and then Doc mispronounced it, and then a whole generation mispronounced it.
Well, we're here.
Ripple
To,
effect.
we're here to put it
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
It's gigawatts.
Yeah.
But
But
wait,
no,
the
whenever
alarm clock.
he gets in the car and he drives back and he gets in place and he's about ready to drive into the cable or whatever, but the car stops
Yeah.
and then the alarm goes off, so he's late.
Yeah.
I feel like the Doc would have had like a precise time, like you have to do it when this goes off.
Well, they
And
had
if
a
he
minute.
missed that,
They
how
had-
did it?
They had a time on the, but maybe we can just. I don't know, man. Airtight movie's not looking so airtight. Maybe
I never said it was
they-
airtight. I think
not a
Carl
time
might have
travel movie, Nick.
looked at this movie through the wrong lens. You
Wow.
focus too much
Yeah.
on the time travel.
Yeah. I wore yellow lenses and I should have worn rose tinted ones.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I see this one. It's brand new. God, dumb.
It was a rerun. What do you
It's
mean?
a
Yeah, there was so much
rerun.
just like when you get off the boat, you're wearing a life preserver. It's like,
And they did that.
I guess in the 80s
like,
that was a real riot.
3
Yeah,
times.
that's the thing. They doubled down on every single bit, and I love bits, but it just seems so cheap.
It's
Like, to
well,
keep
bits
doing
are
it.
good when they're
What?
funny. They got to
That's
be.
how they would have responded, though.
Is it?
Maybe where you weren't there.
Yeah, there's no way to know
I mean,
that.
yeah.
Maybe next to Time Traveler. We don't know.
You don't know.
I think
you
I
don't
know.
know me.
We don't know.
Well, he doesn't have hair, so he's clearly not one.
Yeah.
I couldn't be hot, so I became a time traveler.
That's a stupid
I'm so
T-shirt that
sorry
you could
that
put
I
in
s-
Spencer's.
I was trying to critique Bill and Murray, not all bald people.
Bill Murray's not bald, so strike out.
all people in the comments. Yeah, let us have
Let
it.
us know. Email us at Danielle at thebigroom.com. Not a real email
Doesn't
address.
exist.
Jesus. I
Do
don't
we
know.
want to do star ratings?
Let's do star ratings. Stop talking about this movie.
And then we have some questions.
We have some questions.
Yeah. Nick's Beatles journey.
Oh my God.
Our favorite
Oh,
thing
I need
we
to give
watched.
you an
Favorite
update.
things. Yeah.
Favorite
because
thing we watched
we missed
the movie?
last
we
week.
missed last
We
week's
did.
Beatles journey too. Okay, thank God. Let's start with. I don't care.
Me?
Sure.
I'll go first.
Let's get the positivity out of the way.
I liked it. It's not a perfect movie, but it was fun, and I thought Marty McFly was adorable, and I liked that his parents ended up happier.
Why don't you marry him?
And he's really old now, so it's fine.
Got him.
It's just time. It's not his fault. He can't help it. I'm just gonna pretend that this is the end because I feel like they're gonna mess up the like happy ending with the next movies. So I just like to imagine that this is where it ends. So
Carl's giving you a little.
Carl's giving me a look. I don't know.
Nothing's ever really messed up with time travel.
Everything with sequels
You can
just
always
gets
go
so
back and fix it.
convoluted. So I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Ooh.
That's what I want to do.
Nick.
All right. I really liked it. I think you guys are too harsh with the time travel thing. I just enjoyed it from the perspective of here's an adventure that this kid's on, and he has to do all these things, and then his parents, people in the picture are disappearing. Oh no, like it's just super lighthearted, a fun watch. You don't have to think about time travel. You don't have to think about the rules or how many Martys there are. Like it's all surface level, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Christopher Lloyd. He was pretty irreplaceable, or at least it wouldn't be the same movie without him. A lot of his like body language and body humor.
His
That's
body.
not a phrase.
You just looked at his body.
He was
Physical
funny
comedy.
with the way he moved his face. Is what I'm trying to say.
I can't wait till they remake it with Johnny Depp as Doc.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
They have said that
But
they're
imagine.
never going
I
to.
don't think I like Johnny Depp. That's where I'm at.
I don't think that's a bold stance. How many stars?
Hang on, I gotta review my notes. Do I have anything else? No, I don't. 4 stars.
Hey,
All right.
4-star friends.
Carl, I want to go last.
All right. Well, I've already kind of alluded that I didn't love it, which sucks because I really wanted to. I kind of went over that the writing is, pretty heavy-handed, pretty convenient when it needs to be. It kind of creates these situations of tension just for the sake of like appeasing it. Like the next scene, you're like, okay, like when he's dancing, George beats up the school bully, has that huge adrenaline rush, goes and dances with Lorraine, and then some ginger kid goes in and cuts in,
It's so stupid.
and it's like, and then he lets him
Pointless.
go away. I was like, you just took who's gonna stop you now, man?
Yeah.
You took over, like you're gonna let some ginger, and then like everyone's so rapey too. It's
Yeah.
like the craziest thing. But that aside, like the whole Marty not really having any character flaws was kind of boring. Like if he had been like, I'm gonna sleep in instead of going to save my family, it'd have been like, come on, Marty, But like this,
They should have had a slacker angle.
Yeah, they should have played into that or something. Because then, but whatever. Other than that, I mean, it is a fun movie. It's silly. I think Doc is, by far, the best part of this movie is Doc. Definitely wish there was more of him in there. The time travel logic is bananas, to put it lightly. And I also have a problem, like nobody recognized him. Like his parents saw him 30 years ago, that exact same kid, and remember the name. They're like, Marty, that's a nice name. I'll name my second son after him. Like, why didn't you name the first one Marty? Like, so weird.
That's true.
It's a fair point.
It's just a strange movie, and I think it's just a little overrated. So, but just for the impact that it had on culture, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. I had fun watching it, but I had more fun thinking about how not great it is. It's like, a really convenient movie. Really, like, if you think this is a masterpiece, oh boy. You probably spend your time reminiscing about corded phones and stick shifts and
The good old days.
think that people that are our age don't know how to do anything. But can you help me fix my phone? That's the kind of people that love this movie. That being said,
Wow.
well, you can't work your phone, so making my point.
I can work my phone.
Wow. I can work my phone.
How hard of a time did we have getting the movie on the television?
That wasn't my fault. That was Google's fault. That wasn't my
Okay.
phone's fault.
Okay.
That was Google's fault.
I'm
Google.
gonna give it a 3.5 though, because it was like
Oh.
it was a chill
Wow.
movie. I had fun watching it, but it's also dumb, and it's not a masterpiece. And if you think it's a masterpiece, you're old and dumb, and you
Said
should go
masterpiece.
to a retirement home because you're old and dumb. No, but there are people out there, like Carl was saying, like looking at reviews and stuff. This is the perfect movie. I have a
Yeah,
flux
if you look, if
capacitor
you just go to
tattooed on my
YouTube
neck.
and Back to the Future reviews, and it's just everybody's kind of giving it a glowing review, and I don't know why. I'm like, I found one Reddit post that was like, does it suck? Like, why does everybody love this movie?
And that
like, all
person
the
had
comments are like,
700,
"People get it."
700 downloads.
Yeah, I had to post it. I had to make that
Carl wrote that post. Yeah.
yeah. There was some arguments that were like it's the Seinfeld isn't funny argument where it's like I guess if you didn't grow up with it you just don't
Yeah,
care.
I didn't
but
grow up with
yeah,
Seinfeld. It's hilarious.
I still like Seinfeld, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just kind of lost on me a
There are
little bit.
things that are timeless, like Seinfeld, and there are things that are hilariously 80s, like this movie, and Roadhouse, and Ghostbusters. But they have to be appreciated for being hilariously 80s, campy, not the best written, and way better to look back upon than to
This was so
that's this
campy.
movie.
It was, yeah.
You just described this movie.
Yeah, and it sucks. I'm saying that's like that's like it's the good old days like kind of movie, and it's like the good old days
it's-
weren't that good.
scratches that nostalgia itch.
Yeah,
This is so campy. It's practically living outside.
right.
Like this is
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fine movie. 3.5 stars, just above average. But God, people like this movie way too much. Let's
I
talk about
cannot
the
believe
Beatles.
I scored the lowest here. This
I
is
love it.
history.
What'd
It
you give
really
it? What'd you
is.
give it again?
A 3.
3? Well, we're all.
I want Carl to give a movie a 1.
I don't know if it'll happen.
I don't know if it'll happen, but I would love
It
to
has to
see
be
it.
really bad.
I would
Maybe
love
he'll
to see
hate
it.
the Muppets or something. Because the Muppet movie's in there. Let's talk about the Beatles.
I'm trying to be more critical, so
So when we last left Nick, he had listened to, what was the first one? Was it
Please Please Me?
What
The
was
first Beatles album.
So then you did the second one 2 weeks ago when we watched the shitty movie. What was it called?
Rain Man.
Rain Man. Oh, that's right.
That was a great movie.
No, I was
Take it
thinking
back.
of the one before that. I keep forgetting we watched Rain Man.
West Side Story.
West Side Story. That movie was
Boom.
ass.
Boo.
But that was the Please Please Me week. We skipped Rain Man or we skipped the Beatles convo and Rain Man because that episode was long. So,
But that's okay because
the second
I
album
haven't-
was what?
I haven't listened to the third album, so I'm still on the second.
Oh,
so we're not missing
okay,
anything.
okay.
there.
Whew, phew.
Goodness.
Because I'm lazy,
Yep.
like Marty McFly.
But
so-
only in name, not in practice, like Marty McFly. Continue.
Whatever. So yeah, I'm on the second Beatles album with the Beatles. Opinions are not as good as the first.
Oh.
Huh.
There are a couple hits. I think I recognize them, so that must mean they're a hit. Like It Won't Be Long.
Yep.
My favorite on the album is the very last song on the track 14, which is Money. That's What I Want.
Yep.
It's a good song. And then honorable mention is Till There Was You. It's a pretty chill one.
So There Was You is probably my favorite on this record. Or no.
Also, should I be...
Please Mr. Postman's kind of a banger.
That one's good too. That's probably my third.
All My Lovin'.
At least Mr. Kennedy's really good.
Uh-oh. All My Loving is,
Outer
Space.
All My Loving is my favorite song on this album, actually. And it's probably the best one.
all right.
But I'm a McCartney boy. So
Should I be... Is it okay that I'm listening to the remastered versions?
yeah, it's fine. Like
Okay.
whatever.
Remastered 2009.
Sometimes the remasters suck though because they force them to be stereo. So it's like, if you take
My ears don't work anyway, so...
well, exactly. So for you, it'd be terrible because instead of like normal stereo, where they mix like
only hearing
exactly,
half the
they
song.
hard pan. So they'll put the vocals in the left and like almost all of the instrumentation in the right, and then like run drums down the middle. So it's
I
horrible to listen to in a
exclusively need to
car.
listen to remastered.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the remastered ones are like that, like a
Oh,
stereo mix.
okay,
So
okay.
a lot of times, especially with older albums, I'll go try to find mono mixes, like the original mono mix, because it's just I don't want to hear only singing here Like it can be rough sometimes. So you have to
Why
be,
do they
you have to
split
be
it like
careful.
that?
I don't know. Just out of novelty for stereo, like if they didn't, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because there's no way to split like a guitar track into, like, you can't. I don't know. I
You
feel
can't
like
just
it
play
might.
both in both ears at the same time.
Well, you could put, like, in theory they would put like Lennon in, like, I just don't know. I don't know how they would do it,
I guess I just like mono.
because they're not
I just want to
recording.
get both in both ears.
Because they're not recording in stereo, like, you can't like revert that. The only way to like make it dynamic is to hard pan things. I
Seems
would
like it'd
imagine.
be so weird. I'd be walking in circles listening to that.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were some Beatles songs I listened to when I first got in that I was at work, so I only had one earbud in, and I was like, man, this is really weird way they recorded this.
Yeah,
And it's
that'd
just
be
like,
terrible.
no, all the
I wonder-
vocals are over here, but I only have this ear in, so the vocals sound like they're 500 yards away.
I wonder if there's any songs that have just been like, this is a weird one, skip,
Probably.
just because I'm only hearing in the left.
Yeah, because you only have one ear. That works.
Because not only do I have like my hearing's jacked up on the right, but like right now my audio is panned only to the left, so there's nothing coming out of here. The only reason I have this in
Oh, no,
this
then you'd
earpod
be
in
fine.
is noise canceling.
Then you'd be fine, because then you're forcing mono.
Pushing both.
You're
Okay.
forcing mono.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
so then it actually does not matter which mix you listen to, because you're forcing mono.
Perfect.
So, except for like some of the remasters do try to clean up the quality or whatever, but like, who cares? It's not bad. Some of the problems that the bigger problem you'll run into is like if you listen to a remastered album of the Beatles, they'll have like, oh, it'll be 27 tracks long because they have 100 million demos in there. And just like stuff like that. And I kind of hate that. I just want the 12. Give me the 12 tracks, please. Give me side A, side
Yep.
B. I don't need all the extra crap. I don't want to
don't need
hear.
the director's
I don't.
cut.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Octopus's Garden take 12 or Ringo swears at the end and throws a drumstick. Like, nobody gives a shit.
Sure you do.
No, I don't. And that's also the problem with putting the Beatles on shuffle on streaming. What else do you want to talk about? Oh, favorite thing we watched.
It's not me. This is you.
I want to go last again for this. I want to go last again. So, actually, can we do the
Well,
bucket first?
Yeah, let's do bucket.
Pull a movie.
I want to. I want to.
First?
I want to close
Pull
the,
the
show.
Truman Show.
I want
Okay.
to
I don't
close
think
the
I've-
show with my
All
favorite
right.
thing I watched.
All right.
Let's
Interesting.
pull a thing.
I don't know where this is going.
You should know.
Am I dumb?
I pulled a ticket. Oh my God! It's not what I want, but it's close. I pulled Scarface.
Oh,
Finally, I get to watch a mob movie. I've been waiting forever.
I don't want to watch Scarface.
Say hello to my little friend. I'm so excited.
That's that movie?
Yeah.
That's that movie.
Yeah. I'm so excited to watch people die by Tommy gun fire. This is going to be lit.
All right. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I
love
don't know
it.
anything about
This is also, of the 4
Someone
mob
read the
movies in this
synopsis.
bucket, this is the only one I've seen 0 part of. So, except for that scene, obviously. So I'm excited. I want to watch Scarface. It's hype. Hype.
All
hype,
I know, here's all I know about Scarface is the Lonely Island skit. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
That
and they go,
song's
this
great.
is the tale of Tony Montana. Something. Smoking mountains of cocaine. That's all I know about Scarface.
Let's read
There's
the
cocaine.
sentence, the IMDb.
That was kind of weird, but we're back in the club.
Yeah.
In 1980 Miami, a determined Cuban immigrant takes over a drug cartel and succumbs to greed. That's all it says.
That doesn't give us a
That
lot.
is a very concise plot.
Hopefully it's not
Or
terrible.
summary.
Find out.
But it'll be at least somewhat terrible in some respects because it's a mob movie, so I expect a lot of people to be dead. Al Pacino.
One
you know.
time, Joey Tribbiani played Al Pacino's butt in a movie.
What?
What?
Oh, yeah. Friends. All right. Favorite thing we watched to close the show. Who wants to go first?
I got mine.
All right, Nick.
Nicholas.
Kick us off. Favorite thing you watched
This
that was
week-
Hot
this
Nick
movie.
over here.
Hot Nick. Hot bald Nick.
It's too late. It's
Hot
too
bald
late.
Beatles fan. The 5th Beatle, Nick. The 6th Beatle, actually. There was a 5th Beatle.
This week, because I don't watch enough movies with this podcast, I watched The Bourne Identity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
What?
Pretty good movie.
Is it the first one?
Yeah.
That's the first one. It left me with a lot of questions, which I think was intentional. So now I've got to watch them all.
I like
hours?
those
So that'll be
movies.
fun to squeeze into my super free schedule I have.
Carl.
What made
That
you
was a
watch
good
it?
one.
Oh, never mind.
BMAC
Yeah, of
was
course.
like him and Natalie like apparently watch them once a year,
They're pretty good.
or once every couple years. They
guy.
said
He's
it's like that in Hannibal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Coach Carter. Yeah.
It's such a weird mix.
Such an animal.
hilarious.
Carl, what's your favorite thing you watched this week that wasn't Back to
I
the
don't know.
Future?
Well, I really only had time to watch the 3 Back to the Futures, so but not the second or third for sure. If you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like the other two because it's the same thing in a different year.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
I disagree, but carry on.
Anyway, I mean, I guess I watched the Family Guy spoof of all the Back to the Future things, and that was pretty funny. So, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else I watched.
Danielle.
Me, I feel like mine's weird, but I'm gonna say it anyway. My favorite thing that I watched was I went to a local production of Newsies the musical.
You saw in play.
My mom went to that.
It was so good.
You were with Kyle's mom.
I wonder if we were there at the same time. Was she there last Friday?
Maybe. She was there during Sunday, so Mother's Day.
No, we were not there
Yeah,
at the same time.
because I called her and she's like, "I'm in a play," and I'm like, "Wait, you're in a play or at a play?" She's like,
There's two
and
different
she's like,
things.
She's like, "I'm in a play," and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." And then like I called her, like I was like, "Well, don't forget about me when you're big and famous or whatever, you know." And then like I called her and I was like, "So what? You were in a play?" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "You're in a play." Yeah. She was like, "Oh no, I was at a play." And I was like, "I specifically asked you."
Oh, mom.
Oh, that's amazing.
That reminds me, my second, like my honorable mention for thing I watched this week. I discovered what's his name from Newsies.
Jeremy Jordan.
Jeremy Jordan. I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole with
Never heard
that
of
guy.
her.
Don't we all?
No.
I watched that clip you sent, Nick. It was great. Thank you for sharing.
It's pretty good.
Thank you for
It's pretty
sharing
good.
that with me. Even if these two didn't appreciate it, I appreciated it.
I didn't watch it. Let's close the show with my favorite thing I watched this week, and this is not a joke. My favorite thing that I watched that was not Back to the Future was Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
Oh my god.
And with that, everybody should also watch that. Darth Maul's the coolest. R.I.P. Qui-Gon Jinn. George Lucas is a genius. And better movie than freaking Back to the Future. That's for damn sure. We will watch Scarface. We might get PTSD from it. And we'll catch you in the next one.